a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner.
One. Welcome back to Nino. You know what? Just Dollhouse of Offering. So we're doing this live in front of supporters. Why? Because I can. And because Digimon kept crashing. We're lucky we made it back safely. Kyaru was still recovering from nerves when he laid down for the night. They were stopping in House Riku's part of town. They were shopping in Riku's part of town. I cannot speak English today. They were shopping in House Riku's part of town well into the evening, and it was dark out by the time they got back to the House Shiki's estate. Kyaru expected Dugan or Yorimichi to have a stern talk with him, but but instead the men only laughed. They even seemed happy about it. I guess they were glad we're getting quality time together. And as a bonus, Kyoko gets a Yasaka bodyguard, so they must feel like they don't need to worry. Kyaru decided to take it as a sign that they trusted him. He still wasn't entirely sure what the word meant, but it didn't seem to be a bad thing. Kyaru was doing stretches in bed, carefully ascertaining that nothing felt wrong. They had visited House Ichikura, House Kazu, House Gosha, and House Riku now. That only left Sugusa and Futara, which they had... Where's my voice gone? Which they had been saving for last. I'm a bodyguard, huh? Sorry, chat. Should Kyoko find herself at risk, make sure nothing happens to her. He knew that was what was to be expected from him, and he was happy to perform his duties. In fact, I do hope I get the chance. It still makes me laugh. No one was there to answer his question, but then someone appeared at the door.
クロさん、まだ起きてるかしら?
Yes. I forgot that there's talking in this. We were just doing a game with no voice acting. Having received an unexpected guest, Kyaru folded up his futon and politely sat up straight.
あら、そんなにかしこまらなくてもいいのに。
いえ。
まあ、そのくらい身を正してくれれば大丈夫かしら。
Yukiko was holding her palm to her cheek as though something was on her mind.
そうそう。今日は京子ちゃんと相引きしてくれてありがとう。あら、隠れていなかったから違うかしら。
京子が楽しめたならそれが一番です。
あの子ったら食事を用意してる時も洗い物をしてても興奮しっぱなしでね。さっきも九郎さんと一緒に寝るって聞かなくて。
目に見えるようです。
でしょ？我慢しなさいってみんなで言い聞かせてようやく泣き寝入りしたのよ。
See, the Discord thought I was kidding about the girl being really, really horny. Kyaru couldn't help but crack a smile when he imagined that.
よかった。あなたも楽しんでいるみたいね。
そうかもしれません。
Yukiko just stared at Kyaru for a moment, then heaved a sigh.
ユキコさん、忠告しにいらしたのなら、どうぞおっしゃってください。
そう。そうね。
Yukiko glanced away, then started
明
talking.
日、あなたたちが行く三枝草家だけど、くれぐれも注意してね。
はい。
勘違いしないでね。京子には多分危険はないの。心配なのは九郎さんじゃなくて向こうね。三枝家は 村の治安を担当している武闘派で、他の7名家と違って女系。それもだいぶ行き過ぎているの。
となると、
Yukiko nodded and continued.
女性至上主義で男性蔑視。彼女たちにとって男は女を増やすための種馬なのよ。
Oh, good, we have feminists. See, people in the chat laughed at that one. We're gonna get that one person that gets mad. The next afternoon, the mood among the family members gathered in the house Sagusa tatami room was tense.
ああ、だる。京子ちゃんはともかく、なんで野郎なんかに挨拶されなきゃなんねえの？おかしくね？
Okay, I'm going for middle girl. What about you guys? I love those knives. She looks so cute, the short hair. She looks like she will stab a bitch. She's my type of girl. Oh, sure, go mid. Which one do you want? If any of you guys say that the small one, I'm going to ban you right this second. That's like a 10-year-old. Leave it. Middle girl is the fine one. I like the middle girl.
私も遠慮したいが、家の務めと思って諦めろ。京子さんに会えるだけいいと思え。
Even as she tried to talk down her younger sister, Huka, it took Rinka a lot of effort to hold her own tongue. Oh, you weren't being sarcastic, okay. I thought you were doing the mid joke. Sorry about that, Wolf. Why should we have to entertain a male? They could have sent Kyoko-san on her own. No one would have expected her to feel any differently. All the men Rinka had seen in her life struck her as stupid, ugly, and incompetent buffoons. This man is going to have a harem by the end of this. She wasn't delusional or hurt. It was just what her mother had taught her. Men were studs for breeding at best, and utter garbage at worst. As far as she was concerned, she had no father. A sperm donor wasn't part of the family. That was merely a fact to her.
そもそも男なんて家畜なんだからさ、必要なくね？
I think this is a play on the fact that back then women were just seen as objects to breed.
俺が当主だったら間違いなく全員馬か豚か牛にしてるね。そっちの方が。
The youngest Sagusa sister, Toka, nodded, but she didn't seem particularly convinced. She was always like that. Unfortunate. Rinka gathered that her sister still hadn't learned firsthand what fools men could be. She resolved that she would have to work to reinforce the girl's education.
村の治安維持にしても、家畜の農作業管理みたいなものだからな。面白みがない上に、服を着て人間のふりをしている男など、不快極まりない。
What? This...
なんで俺らがこんな思いしながら我慢しなくちゃなんねえの？もうやっちゃわね。どうせ八坂のなんて側だけなんだしさ。やっちゃおうぜ、母ちゃん。
So this is the only house that acts like this, by the way, guys. Their mother, Renga, well, she's pretty, was a woman almost 50. She had remained quiet so far, but now the girls were all looking at her.
そうさね。あんまりふぬけが過ぎたらやっても構わないよ。
本当か？
母さん。
本気？
四季家の事実上の跡取りは京子ちゃんだからね。あの子を取っちまえば道元も手出ししがたいだろうし、あとはうちの種馬ではらませてうちで教育してやりゃいいだろ。
Wow, just right out there with I'm evil.
それはいい案だと思う。四季がどうこう言ってきたら、二人に噛み合ってもらえばいい。
Rinka meant every word of what she said. As far as she was concerned, a family centered around the male line was nothing but a sign of everything wrong with the world.
うげえ。ヘドがでっけどしゃあないか。豚は豚同士乳くり合うのがお似合いだもんな。
What?
うーん。
Toka looked uncertain about something
も
again.
っと言ってしまえば、私たちだけで全部締め上げるのもいいかもね。
最適だと思う。八坂が動いたとしても私たちなら余裕だ。
Lady, considering what we've been told about the Yasaka, you are making a mistake. That would be what was right for everyone. Renga touched the dagger she kept hidden on her
所
person.
詮八坂は外に出荷されるだけの豚。連綿と技術を紡ぎ磨いてきた私たちには勝ち得ないからな。
リン姉さんもやる気じゃん。俺も本気出しちゃおうっと。できる限り頑張る。
さて、どうなるかね。
They're about to learn a lesson. A thin smile crossed Renga's lips. Mom really means it. Rinka and her sisters knew how much effort their mother had put into preparing for this visit. She had hidden explosives in the basement. Oh my god, she's fucking crazy. And there were guards standing ready throughout the estate grounds. Wow. Oh, is this where it starts getting into it? Oh, none of the other houses have acted like this. There's no way we're going to let them come and go without a fight. Rinka sighed and started mentally preparing herself. When she thought of what a clever girl Kyoko was, she felt the thrill at the thought that she would get to save her. One thing to note, however, is that Sagusa Rinka was not a lesbian. She simply didn't recognize men as human in the same way women were. I like that she had to point that out because I guess she knew everybody was going to think that. To her, it seemed like the most natural thing in the world to want to rescue someone who was being dominated by beasts. The same was true for all the Sagusa. No one knew how their family came to be as it was, but it didn't particularly matter. It was just the way of the world. Marika had a bad feeling about that noise, and the sound, and the second she moved to see what it was...
Huh?
A number of small firearms fell at Hoka's feet. Every single one of them was bent in half. Oh, wow, he's just going right at it. By the time she looked at Toka to see if she was okay, the girl had already passed out. So horns make you No, that's dumb. That's very dumb. Don't think that about my horn. I like men. Huka held a hand over her mouth. She finally understood what was going on. I'm gonna have to remember to edit that out. Oh god, I think we killed someone. She vomited everywhere and keeled over. It was too disgusting to contemplate. A male felt me up. Barely 5 seconds had passed since she had... Take that out of there. Barely 5 seconds had passed since she had heard the unsettling sound of metal bending when Rinka realized her dagger was broken.
誰だ。
いやー、それ言ったらダメだよ。わかりませんって教えてるようなもんじゃない。
Renga was calm and collected, which set Rinka at ease. She was suddenly embarrassed about her own panic reaction. Oh, look, her actual daggers are gone.
この分だと他の兵隊もやられてる。
That is a nice touch.
観念しな。
That is a very nice touch. They actually removed the daggers.
でも
そのざまで一体どうしようって言うんだい。
だが私たちはやられたわけではない。 こんなもの子供騙しだ。
When you screwed up so bad and you just realized
子
it.
供に騙されて殺せるならいいんだけどね。
それはでも、
Yeah, he technically has not killed any of you yet. Keep pissing him off and that'll probably happen. Rinka yelped and her vision blurred. She lost control of her body and crumpled to the ground. It felt like she was going to land on her head, but then someone caught her.
はじめまして。八坂九郎です。
I can't believe this dirty male. He's touching me. Try as she might, Rinka couldn't move. In fact, it was taking everything she had just to remain conscious.
よくも
How hard did he hit you in the stomach if you're still throwing up?
まだ足りないか？
いいや、これ以上は私も許さない。娘たちの勝手だから何なりとしていいよ。
そんな母さん、私まだ
殺してやる。てめえ絶対に。
When you haven't learned your lesson. Just as Helka finally stopped vomiting, her eyes rolled back in her head and she fell unconscious. When you haven't learned your lesson. Huka tumbled forward, and this time Kyaru made no movement to catch her. Woman or not, Kyaru didn't hold back. He used exactly as much force as was necessary, no more, no less.
様。
Kyaru was flexing his hand, making sure he hadn't strained any muscles. No, he was trying out a new technique on us? Like this was all just practice to him?
君の思ってる通りだ。さえぐさでいいんだよな。
私がレンゲ、そこのがリンカ、ゲロ吐かされたのがホーカ、ぐっすりお休みのがトーカだよ。
ご紹介いただきありがとうございます。
吐き気がするくらい男前だね。
顔はそんなに良いとは言われませんが。
勘違いすんじゃないよ。いい豚だって意味だ。
ああ、それはどうも。
It's a weird sentence. That's a Yasaka male? Kyaru bowed politely to Renga, then looked at Rinka again.
覚えていろ、貴様。この借りは必ず。
ずうずうしいな。喋るだけ惨めになるんだから黙っていればいいのに。
Rinka's face turned red with shame. Renga only sighed.
なら、その子も寝かしちまえばよかったじゃないか。
長女ぐらい残っていないと挨拶って雰囲気じゃないだろう。
What's going on? He's just human. How did he do all that without one of us seeing him coming?
京子、もういいぞ。
At that point, Rinka was trembling and not even conscious enough to form words, so Kyaru was done with her. He stepped out of the room to call his fiancée.
うわぁ、汚いですね。
Kyoko wore a look of concern as she walked into the room and saw Huka's vomit all over. Shiki... Kyoko, really? The instant she saw her, Rinka could tell that the young woman had done a lot of growing up since the last time she saw her. She was beautiful. And it only took her another moment to figure out that the man before them was the one who had taken hold of her leash.
いらっしゃい、京子ちゃん。うちのが散らかしてしまってごめんなさいね。
いえ、気にしないでください。私も長居するつもりはありません。九郎さんのご挨拶も済んだようですしね。
With a look of triumph, scorn in her eyes, Kyoko looked from Toka to Huka and then at Rinka. Don't you dare look at us like that. She can only be so smug because she hadn't had to face him like we have. Kyoko was looking down at Rinka, still paralyzed as though she was garbage. It was the same look of contempt the Segusa gave their livestock. Kyoko chuckled to herself.
私としてはまだまだやり足りないですが、再現がないのは分かっています。ですから、クロウさんが良しとするなら、これで良いでしょう。
Tables have turned.
おや、道具に判断を任せるなんてね。
あら、三枝様ったら、地方には早いですよ。
Ooh! With that, she gave Renga a pitying look and moved over to cling Kyaru's side. Stop it, don't touch her!
クロウさんは、私の夫となるために迎えた人です。道具だなんて言わないでください。
そうか。
I like how they set it up so you wouldn't like these girls, and so that when he came in and basically beat them, you'd be like, yeah, that's what you get.
ええ、そうです。ね、クロウさん。
三枝様、申し訳ありません。
After nodding to Kyoko's question, Karu hung his head in a sign of difference to Renga.
私は道具として指揮家に招かれたのではありません。いろいろと考えることが多く。
困らせていますか？
それはありません。
So I love that our character didn't start out really liking Kyoko, like he didn't understand her, and now he's getting very much in love with her.
はい。
She's also very unstable for those that haven't seen this yet. Kyaru's answer made Kyoko so happy that she seemed ready to jump for joy. Baffled at her reaction, Rinka could only assume that she had been brainwashed.
気色悪い。
Don't be mad that we get something you're never gonna get, and that's love. Yeah, you tell him, Mom.
だが、わかった。さっきも言ったように、私は降参。三枝家として、あんたたちに手は出さない。
Rinka wanted to tell her mother not to back down, but Kyoko shot her a piercing glare.
では、式の時の警備もお願いしますね。それも慣例通りですから。
ああ、わかってるよ。
ありがとうございます。今後、進んで顔を出すことはないと思いますが、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Renga didn't answer, instead indicating for them to get out by thrusting her jaw.
どうも。
Kyaru heard a note of wounded pride in Rinka's grunts. He glanced down at her.
ああ、そうだ。
He leaned over and patted Rinka's entire body. His touch was gentle as silk, but still firm enough to be clearly intentional. When he was done, he brought both several folding knives. No, Huka, is this what he did to you?
そのまま転がったら危ないからな。これで安心して寝られるぞ。
Rinka couldn't help but tear up at Kyaru's remark, but he had said out of sincere concern for her well-being.
もう帰りますよ、クロウさん。用件は済みましたから。
わかった。行こう。
In contrast to the utter silence of his arrival, Kyaru strode out with confident footsteps. Sensing the change, Rinka started crying in earnest. He touched me everywhere, my breasts, my thighs. He even felt up my... I won't let him get away with this. I don't care what Mom says. Renge noticed the hatred burning in her daughter's eyes and let out a sigh. Yeah, something's gonna go down at the wedding. Nice. Nice. Later that night, Kyaru sighed as the hot water poured over his body, or over his head. He then filled his bucket again, wet a rag, and started lathering his hair with soap. I think my inexperience showed, but at least we got through this without a disaster. Kyaru didn't feel like he had done a good job, but the matter was that the visit had gone relatively smoothly. I'm glad I managed not to kill anyone. He flexed his hand. He was used to killing, destroying. This was the first time in his life anything else had been asked of him. He meant it when he told Renge that the Shiki weren't using him as a mere tool. They were treating him very well, and he felt a need to respond in kind. That wasn't something he thought of as a burden either. It was easy for him to learn what they expected of him. Dugan, Uramichi, Yukiko, and above all else, Kyoko. They were teaching him so many new things. I didn't think I'd be enjoying it this much. Karu was having trouble putting words to his feelings, so he gave up trying whatever he called it. Kyoko liked him, and he would give her what she wanted. That was what mattered. Someone's there? Footsteps he heard weren't Dugan's or Uramichi's.
京子か
Oh.
はいそうです
By the time she spoke, she had already moved behind Kyaru with a bucket and water and sudsy rag.
の
He got good. So can you see what's going on with me right now? Do me a favor and pause. Once we kill this guy. Okay, I need you to pause. What's the stream?
Oh my god, I just saw your stream. What the hell?
My thanks for the assistance.
Did the game just cock block all of you? Oh, it did. Oh, it did. This is an AI art. No, this is drawn by the person who does Nikopata. It was the middle of the night, well past the time when the rest of the household had gone to bed. It was hard to see as the darkness was broken only by the glow of the moon. I'd have expected House Shiki's estate to be better defended. Sugusa Rinka descended the wall into the courtyard without a sound, then hiding in the shadows of a tree, she signaled her team. One by one, 7 soldiers followed after her. Each of them was a master of melee combat trained by Renge, just like Rinka was. While she waited for them, she spun her dagger in her hand, its blade dyed black to keep it from reflecting light. Mom won't be able to complain if we do this right. I won't let such humiliation go unanswered. But Huka, who had vomited all over the tatami room, seemed dazed even after she came to, as though she'd just accepted it. Rinka assumed it would take some time for the fire of vengeance to light in her. And Toka was useless, always with that dumb look on her face. Unfortunately, Rinka didn't have the patience to wait for Huka to come to her senses. This is our only chance. His guard will be down because he thinks he put us in our place. We'll start by kidnapping Kyoko-san and showing him just how weak he really is. Then we can break his arms and legs and feed him to the fishes. I bet Yasaka can hold their breath for a real long time, and I want him to suffer. Rinka went over her plans in her mind. She watched her woman take her women take their positions. Yeah, we did. All right, time to go. Time to give the That was fast. Oh, now we know why we didn't get a hand job. As unceremoniously as a light bulb going out, Rinka fell unconscious. Ugh. Rinka blinked, her eyes open when she came to. The room she was in was built like a guest room. There was a few small differences, however. It was perhaps an annex. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a thought. It didn't take her long to realize that she was bound and gagged. Where am I? How did we... Wait, no. Is this the annex in the house Shiki's courtyard? She had seen it from the other side of the courtyard. The thought made her go pale that this could only mean... Every single one of them had been captured. They were all laid out on the floor. How did he...
起きたか。全員、ほぼぴったりだな。
Yasaka, you bastard.
外すつもりはない。
Fuck you! Untie us this instant! You would have killed us already if you had the guts, you scared little piggy.
罵倒されてるのはわかるんだけどな。どうしますか？
All the Sagusa present, including Rinka, swallowed nervously as an older man stepped out from behind Karu.
そう言われてもな。
Shiki Dugan? Dugan looked at the women over with a hard look in the pools of his eyes. What's going on? What's going to happen to us?
三枝は手を引いた。あとは自己責任だと蓮華には言われたのだな。
はい。それも2度。
となると、煮るのも焼くのも自由だが。
A chill crawled up Rinka's spine in response to the cold look in Dugan's eyes. He was even worse than most men.
生かす利点がなく、殺す利点もない。三枝家でこやつらと事を構えた時点で、我々は損しかしないのが決定していたな。
一旦引いて、判断を伺うべきでしたか。
それでも、行かなければ予定を勝手に変えたとして、ずうずうしく振る舞うだろうな。少しマシな程度で、結局損をする。
Rinka tried not to breathe too loudly so she could listen to their conversation. She just needed some hint on how to get out of the position she was in.
仕方あるまい。ここは婿殿に決めてもらおう。事前に伝えていた通りに処理すればそれでよい。
The way they planned, take care of us. What were they going to do?
八坂でもその手の訓練はしましたが、俺のやり方でよろしいので。
House Yasaka way? Those monsters!
言われた範囲に収めるのが上手なのが婿殿だろう。
そう言われては。そうですね。
Karu looked thoughtful for a moment before moving to Rinka. If I wanted to be a bitch, I'd end here, but I'm going to give you guys a long one today. Because everybody supporting has been awesome. Stop! Get away! Don't touch me! Without a word, Karu grabbed her and positioned her so all her subordinates could see. Oh, this is going exactly where you think it's all going. No, keep your dirty hands off me. You're not human. You're not even livestock, you beast.
罵ってるのがわかるのもなんだかな。
I say. So, thank you guys for watching on YouTube. You guys are awesome. As always, don't forget to support. And if you want to see this uncensored, the Patreon or Subscribe Star is the place to get it. Thanks again, guys. And don't forget to my second channel, Sinfully Pure. Bye.